Hello, and welcome to the Kathleen Spracklin podcast. I am a woman on a mission, but let's get real. I'm doing Zettelkasten. What can I say? As long as you guys need it, it's going to be Zettelkasten. Okay, I've been on the Zettelkasten Repair Clinic, and I've just been having a great time with it. This one is Repair Clinic number 3, and the request is help. I need more categories. Boy, do I have a treat for you. Rather recently, I met an amazing woman, Shelley Meadows, and she has, as far as I can tell, the ultimate categories list for a Zettelkasten. You will not believe this when you see it. Today, I'm just going to be sharing it with you by screen sharing. She's shared a copy with me, and I've asked her, well, how can others find this wonderful set of categories? And she said she's close to having her website up. She'll let me know when it's ready, and you'll be able to go pick it up for yourself. She said in about a week. So it's not going to be a super long wait. Right now it's the 23rd of July, so another week should be, by the end of July, early August, this should be available. So I will make another announcement when it is ready. So in the meantime, you're going to get a sneak preview of it today. Now, before I do that, I want to give you my take on categories because my view is very, very different from Shelley's. I think they're both valid, but of course, I'm not trying to teach anybody's anything else. I'm sharing what I do that works for me. Okay, to me, categories are nothing more than a geographical representation of where, front to back, you want to have your cards. Let me show you. If you assume that your categories are 4-digit numbers, which most of them are, then you would just basically say, if you want the cards towards the front of the box, use 1,000, 2,000s, and 3,000s. If you want your cards towards the middle of the box, use 4, 5, 6. If you want them towards the end of the box, use 6, 7, 8, 9. That, for me, is it for categories. Name them what you will, but be careful with naming, because my feeling is that you end up, once you're pigeonholing a card into a category, you're kind of losing the thought. And my view of a Zettelkasten is it should be thoughts and dialogues, conversations with ideas, and not factoids. However, some people do want and need very factoidal databases, and they want to a Zettelkasten as though it were a private chat GPT. Now, if that is your purpose, you will not be in better hands than with Shelley Meadows, because AI and business is exactly her corner of the world. So she will be able to orient you in that. I won't be able to orient you in that, because my idea of a Zettelkasten is it's for ideas, for expanding the mind, for thinking deeply. So, however, it's just fascinating to see her list. I'm going to show it to you in 2 forms. The first form I'm going to show it to you is the PDF file. It's beautiful. I mean, it's formatted in a very lovely way, and you can see how easily you could print that out and flip through the pages and find whatever category you could possibly want. Then I extracted that into an Excel spreadsheet where I did some formatting differently, where I want to show the nesting that she's got going in the categories, so you can get a sense of how the categories are formed, in case you find when you get the category list that, oh my gosh, your pet topic isn't there. So let's take a look first, just to get the feel of what it's like. We're going to take a look at her PDF file. Okay, here we are looking at Shelley's beautiful document. And what we can see here, she begins with a table of contents. When you look at the table of contents, you will notice very quickly that her category numbers are larger than 4 characters. That will be an absolute theme with her category list. She goes to 7 characters. But there they are, all of the basic wiki areas of academic discipline, and she applied AI to it to go through the multi-layers that you get in the academic disciplines and assign numbers all the way down. In here, she's giving us a little bit of her hierarchy that will govern them. The 1000s, we don't see too much hierarchy, or the 2000s or 3000s. But here in the 5000s, in the applied science, we see a little bit more nesting going on. This is the nesting that we're going to see very clearly over in the Excel spreadsheet. Okay, so now here's her humanities, and this is the actual lookup list that you would be doing if you wanted to use her table of academic disciplines. You would be saying, okay, performing arts, I've got that. All right, here they are, and you'd be able to scan rather easily through this list of performing arts to look for what you wanted to find. Visual arts, same thing. History, languages and literature. So you would just scan down her list to find the category that you wanted. Now, mind you, when you got to Platoism, you would have 1060980. So I hope you have a lot of room on your card for a big, long address. Maybe you won't be so branchy. So that's just a start, and it goes on. There's a total of, goes all the way up to the 5000s. So you can see that it's very, very thoroughly covered. So that is the list, and that's what it's going to look like when you get it from Shelley, as she said, in about a week. Okay, now here's Shelley's list in an Excel spreadsheet, and I did a little bit of work on it because I wanted to get a handle on how deep the nesting was going. My original thought would be, if I were willing to use letters of the alphabet besides numbers, would I be able to compress this down to 4 digits? The short answer is yes, if I want to be rather brutal with it. But if I want to honor the nesting that Shelley has going here, then the answer is no. I might get 1 digit squeezed out of it, and that would be about it. Maybe I could get it down to 5 with some sufficient work. But as you can see, what Scott would call the 1000 humanities, she's got, what is it? The millions humanities. Okay, then what Scott would call 1010 performing arts, she's got 3 more zeros. And why does she need 3 more zeros? Because she isn't content with stopping at music and saying, okay, I've got all I need. I've got music, and I've got musicology, and I've got, no, she's all the way down to all of these other areas that she has covered here, going quite deeply. When we dive into musicology, we'll notice something else. You notice all these, okay, I missed something here. This is an example of the kind of structure I was trying to point out. Okay, so these all end in double zeros, accompanying chamber music, church music, conducting. But then here it goes deeper, 10, 20, 30, and she's got choral conducting, orchestral conducting, wind ensemble conducting. So if we find another type of conducting, it will probably be 1011440, I would guess, unless it's a cappella choral conducting, in which case maybe it would be 1011411. In fact, we'll see here evidence that there is a good reason why she has all 7 digits, even though right now we've only seen zeros in that position. Okay, down here in musicology, with organ, piano, string, singing, and woodwinds, she's got them all under organology. And when we get down here into the culinary arts, in applied arts, suddenly look, we have a 401, outline of cuisines. One might wonder why it isn't 410, but it's not my system, so I won't attempt to answer that. But you see it again here with landscape architecture, and then we have landscape design and landscape planning at the next level deeper. So every layer is used, and the more digits are used, the more fine-grained it is, and the more it nests. And I didn't do the nesting beyond history. I just wanted to get a feel for whether, in fact, all 7 digits were used. They are, and there are places in the system where it isn't O1 either. So, bottom line, these are very, very, very category intense. So if you love categories, just really, really, really love them, this could be a magnificent list for you. And if you don't like the idea of going to 7 characters, well, you can just stop and use the applied arts, the graphic arts, the architecture. You can stop right there and just use those main cards. Or you could use your slash, or your dot, or your dash, or whatever you're going to use as a separator, and keep on going with your digits. I leave that up to you. Now, as best my understanding, and Shelley will have to tell me if I'm misrepresenting her system, once Shelley has located the category where her card is going to go, all cards just go numerically, /1, /2, /3, /4, all the way up, with no further nesting. And everything in her world is categorical. The first thing you do is you find its category. That, of course, as you know. So Shelley's system is very different than mine. Mine is based on conversations. So when I want to place a card, the first thing I would want to make sure is, do I have what I gained from the source? Do I have my reaction to it? Do I have that tagline which serves as a memory prompt list so that I can recall the whole card? And then I underline the keywords in the memory prompt list, and then I go look to see what conversation this new card might join. Very different from Shelley's approach. Shelley's approach is you find the category. When you've located the category, it gets the next card number in the category. End of story. But I also believe, from the examples that I've seen of her cards, I do not think that she has an emphasis on categories. I think she's very big on, or maybe it's just this part of her Zettelkasten that she's showed me so far, is very much about a very rigorous, careful, and exacting extraction of information out of the source. Now, especially journal articles, as she is a PhD student and she's in the process, I think she said something like she has about a collection of about 800 journal articles that she is using this process on. And she's also written a lovely document explaining her process in great detail. So if you are a lover of categories, and if you want to have a database that's very fact-based as opposed to ideas-based, I'm all about the creativity. Maybe you're all about the information. And if so, you probably will want to connect with Shelley and get to know her methods, because she may be able to give you some great tips that would be more compatible with your use of the Zettelkasten if you're not a creative. So thank you for watching, and I hope that helps with your decisions on categories. And if you have downloaded my categories list, because I have a little sign up for categories, mine pales in comparison to Shelley's. I've got 4 digits, and they were just a list there to get you started, to get you thinking about how you can create your own categories. Shelley's is not about create your own categories. Maybe at the lowest level, it's about create your own categories. Hers is all about extracting from all those layers of the Wikipedia academic disciplines. If you know, you go deeper, deeper, deeper on that website, and she's got them all collected together and assigned with numbers. So hers is not about assigning categories, it's about locating categories. Whereas my much, much more compact, compact. I won't, it's nothing like hers. Mine is like, oh, and you could do this and you could do this and see how you can break those down. Um, Shelley's is very much at an academic level, which mine is not. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.